The syntax analysis, it really didn't seem like Trump had a good flow or good rhythm at all when he was talking. Granted, I didn't really expect it, but it seemed like he was kind of all over the board during the entire video that I watched, and that was like 22 minutes long. But the one thing that he did do is he was pretty expressive about a lot of the things he was saying, as opposed to McGulphy. Sorry, I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. But throughout his video, granted it was only like 2-ish minutes, but he was extremely expressive on almost everything he said. He had good flow and rhythm, and um, he really got to the point of what he wanted to say. Alright, the semantic analysis. I have the definition up there in the right hand corner. Throughout the video, Trump said a lot of and between a lot of words he was saying. So that kind of made it unclear as to what he was trying to go for there. As well as, again, I already mentioned, it seemed like he was kind of all over the board on what he was talking about. You know, he'd be talking about one thing, and then he would kind of switch real quick to something else without going too much into depth about what he was talking about. And I'm gonna butcher the name again. McGulphy. It's not right. He uses clear and powerful words easily. He's very constant on what he's saying, and he makes his point very clear. You know, I mean, he's saying to those people who are doing those things, you know, just get out. We don't want you here. And he said get out a lot, so that made his point very clear on what he was trying to say. Here is my graph. I'm sorry, I cut it off a little bit because the recorder wasn't working, but the total for the governor was 15 points as opposed to President Trump's 3. And I have the semantics in the top, the syntax in the middle, and then the organization. I gave the governor 4 because, again, he was very on point with everything he was saying. You know, everything lined up perfectly, and you know, there's no really questions afterward as to what he was trying to get across as opposed to President Trump, where, you know, I gave him a 3 because I could understand his points. It's just that they were not even close to as clear as the governor. Engagement, I gave the governor 4 again, which, again, it's probably easier for him to get a 4 because it was a lot shorter. But he did such a good job with, you know, making his point across and telling everyone what he wants to have happen, as opposed to Trump, where, again, he was kind of all over the board. He didn't go much in depth about anything he was talking about. I mean, he spent a few minutes just thanking people, which is nice, but no, it's not what he's really there for. Observations. Trump started by thanking people. Again, it really seemed like he didn't go into depth with any details about anything he was saying. It also seemed like he was straying off topic quite frequently. And right when it started, he didn't make his points clear. He didn't say, like, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to be talking about, kind of like the governor did. He just kind of started talking and just kind of went with the flow. Myself here. Alright, and then the governor started by getting right to the point, and he did a fantastic job with that. He was clear and obvious what his views were the entire time he was talking. He stated multiple times that he wanted the white supremacists to just leave because they didn't want him there, and what was happening was wrong. Yeah. And then here is my my charts. I'm gonna run out of time here pretty soon. So you can see that Trump used one more noun than the governor did, but a lot less verbs, as well as so the verbs, you know, make sense because the governor was very on point with everything he wanted to say. He kept saying what he wanted to have happen and what needs to be happening, and that is my presentation.